You know, life has a funny way of testing us. People will doubt you, question your worth, and sometimes, without a second thought, think they can replace you. But let me tell you something. The only person who can define your value is you. I've been in rooms where I was overlooked. I've heard whispers that I wasn't enough, but instead of breaking me, it fueled me. Because when someone assumes you're replaceable, you don't fight with words. You fight with action. So here's what you do. You show up. You step up. You work harder. You become so undeniably good that replacing you isn't even an option. Excellence is your best response. Growth is your best revenge. Remember, you are not a placeholder in anyone's life, career, or dreams. You are a force. And when you realize that, there is no competition. So the next time someone thinks they can take your place, smile. Let them believe what they want, and then prove them so wrong that they wonder why they ever doubted you in the first place. The world isn't looking for another version of someone else. It's waiting for you to own your space, unapologetically. Value. It's one of those things that people will try to define for you if you let them. The world has its own ideas of who deserves to be seen, who deserves a seat at the table, and who can be replaced without a second thought. And too often we buy into these definitions, allowing someone else's opinion to shape our reality. But let me tell you something. Your value is not up for debate. It is not something anyone else has the right to measure, judge, or dictate. Your value is yours to define, own, and amplify. I've been in situations where people have looked at me and decided, without even knowing me, that I wasn't enough. Maybe I didn't fit their mold. Maybe I didn't check the boxes they were looking for. Maybe they simply believed I was just another name on a list, easily replaced. And I know I'm not alone in this. Everyone at some point in their life has felt underestimated, overlooked, or dismissed. But here's the thing about being underestimated. It gives you an edge. It gives you a fire. Because when someone assumes you are replaceable, you get to make a choice. Do you let them be right? Or do you show them why they couldn't be more wrong? The biggest mistake we make is waiting for someone else to validate our worth. We wait for the promotion, the applause, the approval, the recognition. We let society, employers, relationships, and even social media tell us how much we matter. But that is a game you will never win. Because if you allow external factors to define your value, you will always be at the mercy of someone else's opinion. The truth is, your worth has nothing to do with what others see. It has everything to do with what you believe about yourself. Think about it. There are people in this world who have walked into rooms with nothing but confidence and owned the space. They weren't necessarily the most talented, the most educated, or the most experienced, but they believed in their own value so fiercely that others had no choice but to believe in it too. And then there are people who have all the talent in the world but shrink themselves because they are waiting for permission to shine. Which one do you want to be? The moment you decide that your value is non-negotiable, everything changes. You stop begging for opportunities and start creating them. You stop proving your worth to people who never saw it in the first place. You stop letting rejection define you and start using it as redirection. And most importantly, you stop shrinking yourself to fit into spaces that were never meant for you. The people who replace you, let them. The ones who don't see your value, let them go. The opportunities that pass you by, let them pass. Because when you know who you are, you don't chase, you attract. You don't fight for a seat at the table, you build your own. You don't waste time proving yourself to the wrong people, you prove yourself to you. And the most beautiful part? The moment you define your own value, the world will have no choice but to respect it. Doubt is something we all face. It whispers in the back of our minds, making us question if we're good enough, smart enough, talented enough. It creeps in when we're about to take a big step, making us hesitate, second guess, or even back down entirely. But here's the truth. Doubt is not your enemy. In fact, if you know how to use it, doubt can be your greatest fuel for success. People will doubt you. They will look at you and assume you don't have what it takes. They will question your abilities, downplay your potential, and sometimes even tell you directly that you won't make it. The world loves to set limits on people. It tells you what you should be, how far you can go, and when it's time to give up. But what the world doesn't realize is that the more someone doubts you, the more power they give you. Because doubt, when channeled correctly, can turn into determination. It can push you to prove not just them but yourself wrong. Doubt is uncomfortable, and that's why most people run from it. They let it define them instead of defying it. But discomfort is where growth happens. If you've ever been told you weren't enough, you have two choices. You can believe it and shrink, or you can use it as motivation to rise. Every single successful person you admire has faced doubt, rejection, and failure. They weren't born confident. They weren't handed success. They built it piece by piece by using every no, every dismissal, every doubter's voice as a reason to keep going. Think about the greatest moments in your life, the times when you felt truly proud of yourself. Did they come easily, or did they come after struggle? Did they happen because everything was smooth, or did they happen because you had to fight through uncertainty and prove something to yourself? The greatest accomplishments don't come from a place of comfort. They come from pushing past doubt and doing what others thought you couldn't. When someone doubts you, they are handing you a choice. You can let their words weaken you, or you can let them ignite something inside of you. Imagine what happens when you stop seeing doubt as a setback and start seeing it as a challenge. Instead of thinking, what if I fail? Ask yourself, what if I succeed? Instead of saying, I don't know if I can do this, say, I will figure out how to do this. Instead of fearing doubt, embrace it, because doubt only has power over you if you let it. It's easy to admire those who have made it, but what we don't see are the struggles they face to get there. The rejection letters, the losses, the moments when they almost quit. Every actor who was told they weren't leading role material, every entrepreneur who was told their idea wouldn't work, every athlete who was told they weren't fast enough. If they had accepted those doubts as truth, their stories would have ended there. But they didn't. They took those doubts, turned them into fuel, and worked harder than anyone expected. And eventually, the same people who doubted them had no choice but to recognize their success. Your success won't come from avoiding doubt. It will come from using it. Let every negative word fuel your ambition. Let every rejection push you to improve. Let every obstacle make you stronger, because when you take doubt and turn it into action, you become unstoppable. And there is nothing more powerful than a person who refuses to let doubt win. Owning your space unapologetically is about more than just confidence. It's about stepping fully into who you are and refusing to shrink for anyone. It means taking up space in the world without hesitation, without guilt, and without waiting for permission. Too often, people are conditioned to believe they have to tone themselves down, make themselves more likable, or fit into some pre-approved version of success. But the truth is, the most powerful thing you can do is embrace who you are, exactly as you are, and stand tall in that truth. There will always be people who want to put you in a box, who think they can define what you should be, how you should act, or what your potential looks like. But their opinion doesn't matter. The only thing that matters is whether you believe in yourself enough to claim your space without apology. Because the world doesn't just hand over opportunities to those who wait quietly. It rewards those who step up, make their presence known, and refuse to be ignored. It's easy to feel like you don't belong sometimes, especially in rooms where you might be the only one of your kind, the only woman, the only person of color, the youngest, the least experienced, or the one who took an unconventional path. But being different is your strength, not your weakness. When you walk into a space, whether it's a meeting, an audition, an interview, or any other environment, walk in with a mindset that you deserve to be there. Because the moment you start doubting yourself, the world will too. Owning your space means speaking up when you have something to say. It means refusing to dim your light just to make others comfortable. It means knowing that you bring value wherever you go and carrying yourself like someone who belongs. Not because someone else said so, but because you said so. People will respect you as much as you respect yourself. If you walk into a room like you're unsure of your worth, others will treat you accordingly. But when you own your presence, when you move with certainty, people take notice. There's a difference between arrogance and self-assurance. Arrogance is pretending to be something you're not. Self-assurance is knowing exactly who you are. And when you stand firm in your identity, when you claim your place without seeking validation, you become unstoppable. You don't need to explain yourself. You don't need to justify why you belong. Your presence alone should be enough. The truth is, no one is going to give you permission to shine. No one is going to say, now is the perfect time for you to step up. You have to decide that for yourself. You have to claim your voice, your talents, your ideas, and take the opportunities you deserve. And yes, people will have opinions. Some might not like it. Some might try to challenge you. But that's not your problem. Your only job is to keep going, keep growing, and keep showing up as the fullest, boldest version of yourself. Too many people spend their lives trying to fit in when they were meant to stand out. They hold back because they don't want to be too much. But why not be too much? Why not be unforgettable? Why not take up all the space you need and let the world adjust? Playing small doesn't serve anyone. Hiding your brilliance doesn't make you humble. It makes you invisible. And you were not put on this earth to be invisible. You were meant to be seen, to be heard, to make an impact. So don't wait for approval. Don't shrink yourself to make others feel more comfortable. Don't hesitate when you know you're meant for more. Own your space fully, fiercely, and unapologetically. Because when you do, the world will have no choice but to take notice. People will always have something to say. They will judge you before they know you, assume things about you without understanding your journey, and doubt your ability to succeed before you've even had a chance to prove yourself. That's just how the world works. But here's the truth. What they think of you doesn't define you. Their doubts, their criticisms, their underestimation of your worth, none of it matters unless you let it. Let them think what they want. Let them believe you can't do it. And then, without wasting a second defending yourself, prove them wrong. There's nothing more satisfying than succeeding in a space where people thought you would fail. The ones who dismissed you, the ones who overlooked you, the ones who told you that you weren't enough, they are not your problem. Your energy is far too valuable to be spent convincing people of your worth. Instead, let your results do the talking. Let your consistency, your growth, your resilience be the loudest response to every doubt thrown your way. Because nothing silences critics more effectively than undeniable success. The mistake people make is thinking they need validation from those who doubt them. They waste energy trying to argue, explain, or seek approval. But why? Why waste time convincing someone who has already decided they don't believe in you? Their disbelief is not your burden. Their limited perspective is not your responsibility. The only thing that is your responsibility is proving to yourself that you can rise above it all. Rejection, doubt, and underestimation are all part of the process. Some of the most successful people in the world were told over and over again that they would never make it. They were laughed at, ignored, and rejected until they weren't. Until their work, their achievements, their relentless pursuit of greatness became impossible to ignore. That's the power of proving people wrong, not through words, but through action. Imagine this. You're sitting in a room where no one believes in you. They don't think you have what it takes. They expect you to fail. You have two choices. You can let that energy sink into your soul, make you second-guess yourself, and force you into playing small, or you can take all of that doubt, all of that negativity, and turn it into fuel. Let it light a fire so powerful that the very people who didn't believe in you are forced to sit back and watch you rise. People who underestimate you are doing you a favor. They are handing you motivation on a silver platter. They are giving you a reason to push harder, go further, and reach a level of excellence they never saw coming. And when you finally achieve everything they said you couldn't, you won't need to say, "I told you so." Your success will say it for you. The most powerful response to doubt is execution. Not talking about what you're going to do, not defending your dreams to people who don't see your vision, but doing the work until there's no room left for doubt. Because once you reach that level, once you prove through action that you are everything they thought you weren't, their opinions will become irrelevant. The very same people who doubted you will have no choice but to acknowledge what you've built. So let them think what they want. Let them assume you're not capable. Let them underestimate you. And then, without hesitation, without anger, without distraction, prove them wrong, not for them, but for yourself. Because at the end of the day, success isn't about making others believe in you. It's about making yourself proud of who you've become. People talk. They make promises, give opinions, and say all the right things. But at the end of the day, words mean nothing without action. You can say you're ambitious, hardworking, or talented, but if your actions don't prove it, those words are just empty noise. The world doesn't respect what you say you will do. It respects what you actually do. Think about the most successful people in the world. They didn't get there by talking about their dreams. They got there by relentlessly pursuing them. They didn't sit around explaining why they deserve success. They showed up, put in the work, and proved it. Talking about what you want is easy. Anyone can do that. But showing up every single day, putting in the effort when no one is watching, and delivering results, that's what sets you apart. The mistake most people make is assuming that words alone can build their reputation. They think if they say the right things, convince the right people, and make the right connections, success will follow. But here's the truth. You can't talk your way into success. You have to earn it. The people who truly make an impact aren't the ones constantly trying to prove themselves with words. They are the ones who let their actions speak for them. When someone underestimates you, you don't need to argue. When someone doubts you, you don't need to convince them otherwise. You simply keep working. You let your success be the response. The best revenge isn't proving them wrong with words, it's proving them wrong with results. The moment you start focusing more on action and less on explanation, everything shifts. Instead of wasting time defending your abilities, you sharpen them. Instead of seeking validation, you become undeniable. Instead of saying, I deserve this, you show why you do. The truth is, people remember what you do far more than what you say. If you want respect, earn it through consistency. If you want success, work for it relentlessly. If you want to be irreplaceable, bring value that no one else can. Words can be forgotten, ignored, or doubted, but results are undeniable. When you deliver, when you show up, when you prove yourself through action, no one can take that away from you. The difference between people who succeed and people who don't isn't talent, luck, or opportunity. It's execution. Everyone has ideas, but few act on them. Everyone has dreams, but few are willing to put in the work to achieve them. Talking about your goals won't get you closer to them, only action will. And when you commit to action, when you choose to show up, work harder, and push past every obstacle, that's when real transformation happens. That's when people stop questioning you and start respecting you. That's when you no longer need to say anything at all, because your results will speak for themselves. In a world where people are constantly looking for the next best thing, being irreplaceable is the only way to truly stand out. No matter where you are, your career, relationships, or any space you occupy, you have to bring something so unique, so valuable, that replacing you isn't even an option. That doesn't mean just being good at what you do. It means being so exceptional, so indispensable, that no one else can do what you do the way you do it. Being irreplaceable isn't about luck or talent alone. It's about effort, consistency, and a mindset that refuses to settle for being average. Plenty of people are skilled, but very few are irreplaceable. The ones who are, they're the ones who show up every single day, push beyond expectations, and deliver something extraordinary. They don't just do their job, they redefine it. They don't just fit in, they stand out. They make themselves the kind of person that others need to have around, whether it's in a workplace, a friendship, or any part of life. The mistake many people make is thinking they can coast through life, doing the bare minimum and still be valued. But the truth is, if you can be easily replaced, you will be. If what you bring to the table is something anyone else can do just as well, then there's nothing keeping you in that seat. That's why you have to develop skills that set you apart. An attitude that makes you indispensable, and a work ethic that makes people think, I can't afford to lose this person. Becoming irreplaceable isn't just about talent. It's about trust, reliability, and a level of excellence that's impossible to ignore. It means being the person who doesn't just meet expectations, but exceeds them. The one who isn't just present, but makes an impact. The one who isn't just another name on the list, but the only name people think of when they need something done right. People remember those who go the extra mile. They remember the ones who take ownership, who bring something unique, who don't just follow the path, but create their own. If you want to be irreplaceable, stop waiting to be chosen and start making yourself the obvious choice. Develop your skills so well that no one else can match them. Show up with an energy that no one else can replicate. Offer solutions that no one else can think of. Be the person who makes things better, easier, and more efficient, because that's the person no one wants to lose. It's not about being perfect. It's about being valuable. And value comes from showing up consistently, growing constantly, and proving through action that you are not just another option, you are the option. When you become that person, when you make yourself irreplaceable, success isn't something you have to chase. It becomes something that naturally follows you. because when people recognize your worth, they'll move mountains to keep you around.